Kanche Kiowa. This is Valerie McLeod one more time here with a quick video post Métis Nation Saskatchewan Election 2025. It's the day after, and I might upload this Monday morning though to just make sure I get as many thank yous out there as possible. So this is my huge thank you to everybody who sent me words of encouragement, everyone who made contributions to my campaign, everybody who came out to support at events or participated, anyone who allowed me even 5 minutes on the phone to pick your brain and give you a little bit about my thoughts, or maybe a lot and my ranting, which is also possible. And for sure, especially those of you who made the effort to get out and vote, and those of you who put your vote my way and threw your support behind me, that is not lost on me at all. And I know that it might not be the result that you were hoping for. I was trying myself to stay very positive through the process, that I had serious questions and doubts about the process. And so I just want to say this again, because I want you to know that I'm not, defeated in any way, and I'm not sad. And I want you to know that I don't want any of you to feel defeated or sad either. I think it's very positive, the support that I did receive. I feel immensely humbled by that, and I feel wonderful about that. And I'm inspired. I really feel our people deserve the truth. And I don't think that the truth is controversial. The truth is, the information that we all need to have to be able to make good, informed, consensual decisions. So I came at everyone with as truthful as information as I could find and back up with hard evidence. And it was well received wherever I had access to. And I know that because any of the communities I did have access to, where I was able to speak to people or call people, or, the one local that invited me to speak just to their membership, I know that in that polling area, I had received votes 2-1, twice as many as the other candidate. And that's incredible, Unfortunately, there were some locals and communities I didn't have access to. I know there's one local president that just straight up came at me online attacking me right away, and I've never met her. So I guess I wasn't welcome there. And unfortunately, the way it works too is that we don't have voter registration cards. We don't have voters lists given to candidates. So I have no idea who our voters are. And, the other candidate, being there for 8 years now, knows most of these people. Of the 196 votes that were cast, there was a 12% voter turnout for Eastern Region 3. There's a lot of people I just don't even have access to. Just please know I appreciate it. It has inspired me, and I don't want any of you to feel in any way defeated either. Good things are going to come, and there's going to be, follow through and things that come of this now. So a big thank you once again. I will say that I also spoke to Marg Friesen, the other candidate, last night at the Indian Head polling station. We were locked in there for hours last night while they did the count. And I did congratulate her on her win. And, while I may have concerns and issues with the process of this election, as far as the process did go, I do believe that she did win fair and square within that process, right? And so I congratulated her on that. That being said, we all know I have extreme issues with the process itself. And I want to also take a quick second to just thank the election workers who were there very, very late, working hard last night. And, being able to sit in and see what they do was actually a great experience for me too, to understand that process and what they're doing. And I think they did a very good job. Everybody that I saw administering and working, the employees, were taking it seriously and doing their job as far as I saw. So I don't want any of my criticisms as far as our MNS election process to in any way imply anything negative towards the employees, who I saw doing a very fine job and giving it their all and taking it very seriously. So thank you to them as well. I guess one of the good things about being locked in there last night with my competing candidate, who is also my regional representative previously and now, is that I was finally able to speak with her for the first time in 2 years since, when I moved to this region, and I had gone to a meeting in Indian Head. And this was a constitutional reform meeting. So they wanted feedback from the citizens, they said. It was called Voices of the People. And when I went to that meeting, there were certain things on the constitutional reform suggestions being made by the lawyers and the MNS that I disagreed with. And it had to do with the structure of our governance, which in Métis governance, our legislative assembly is the top governing authority of the whole governance structure. The president is listed in the Constitution as the spokesperson. okay, not the top of government. And what they were trying to do was change that to make the president the top authority, and then to have 3 vice presidents under him or her, right? But the president, basically, the president. So I disagreed with this, and it has nothing to do with Michif governance, as far as I can tell. There's nothing in that structure that has anything to do with us or what we do and how we operate. And it reminded me actually of the structure that the Indian Act implemented onto First Nations people, which is even more why I was going, what are they trying to do here with us now? So after that meeting, unfortunately, I ended up blocked from the Eastern Region 3 Métis Nation Saskatchewan Facebook page, and I ended up blocked from the LeBret local page, which would be my local that I live closest to. And our Constitution says you have a right to belong to the local that you live closest to. Now, I took that as I had met the local president at that one meeting in Indian Head that day. So when I was blocked from the region page and blocked from the local at the same time, I took that to heart a little bit. That felt like saying you're not welcome. And through running in this election and during the campaign, and when I was at the candidates forum in Carlisle, there was a live stream. I had spoken about this. The local president from LeBret, Sheila Pelletier, reached out to me and said she had never blocked me, and she had no idea about that. So I believe her. If she's telling me that wasn't her, then I will believe her. And I still was blocked from it, though, so I'm not sure what she had to do that suddenly made it visible to me again. But then it came back, and she said, okay, if you hit join, I will approve you. And she did. So thank you, Sheila. And, I'm very excited about that. That's one good thing that has now come of this, too, is that I now can belong to a local. I can go there and not feel that I'm not welcome. And I can, hopefully become more acquainted with more of you in this community and in this region. I did see that Marg Friesen, the other candidate and the regional representative, and one of her employees, who is also a family member of hers, were both admins on that local page too. So I don't know if perhaps maybe it was one of them, because Sheila tells me it wasn't her, and I believe her. But at least it's been remedied now. So last night when I was speaking with Regional Representative Friesen at the church while we were doing the count, I asked her, because I had tried calling and emailing many times about this, could she please sort out what has happened and get me reinstated to that region page so that I can see the events happening in this region and I can see other people in this community and I can get to know you. And I guess, maybe that was smart to ban me or block me, because then I don't get to know anyone and don't get to be a part of anything. And that must have helped for sure in this election, since she already has pre-existing relationships with, there was only 196 people that voted in this region, and I'm sure she's met most of them at some point, and I had no way of knowing who most of you even were. So she has said that she will sort that out for me, and I hope she makes good on that promise. And we'll have to see, I guess, what happens. And I did tell her also that, despite whatever may happen during elections, despite there were family members of hers that were coming at me online and saying not very nice things to me, all of that aside, and all of our, maybe her and I, anything we've disagreed on in the past aside, I would be more than happy and willing to work with her on a project, on an event, whatever it may be. And I told her that, and, I would like nothing more than to see success for everyone in our region and in our nation. And so I hope that she still realizes that and believes me on that. I'm here to be supportive and offer whatever I can to our community as well. And, any support that she might need that I can offer, I'm offering to do that. I would love to do that, and I hope she knows that. I did tell her this, so I hope she believes me and that we can all move forward together now, because that election was quite divisive. And I'll just speak really quick to some of the things now that I see as maybe some problematic things now that I've been through the experience. Okay, so there was a 12% voter turnout for Eastern Region 3. 12% of eligible voters actually made a vote. And I think when we're talking about representative government, and does this government have the right to be negotiating our land and our rights away, or even into agreements and contracts, saying that they represent the entire, all the Métis within Saskatchewan, that's difficult for anyone to buy into when you have an election and only 12% of people take part of your eligible voters. That's a hard sell. So it's not just me who is not buying in. I might be vocal about it, but other people are not buying in and not saying anything. So we really need to consider that, I think, going ahead. The other thing is there was no voter cards, registrations sent to anyone. We've been told that we can't have voters lists of who the eligible voters are in the region because of privacy issues. Yet after the early and advanced voting, I was sent a secondary voters list, which was a first and last name and a hometown of anyone that had voted in earlier advance voting. So how come I can receive that, but I can't receive ahead of time a list of just first and last name and what hometown eligible voters are in? At least I would know where they are, what communities they're in. Where can I go? How can I? You can't go door knocking, or you can't call people or seek out even the people in your nation, because we aren't allowed to even know who they are, where they are, how many of them there are. At least the election officials were told, sort of how many people in each region. They could guess wherever a polling station was. They could see who the eligible voters were, and they would send out ballots based on how many expected voters in that polling region were likely to come vote. That would have been good for candidates to know too. Anything at all, because right now it's nothing. And again, this supports the incumbent, who already has these connections and has been to many communities and has a direct relationship with those locals. And after 8 years, there's already relationships there. Last election, nobody had run against her. So in comes someone who's been ostracized, blocked, kept out. I'm up against a lot already, and that's fair. Those are realities. But when it comes to creating a healthy environment for democracy, there were locals that I couldn't even access, and they had members I couldn't access. And if that one president at that local is a family member of the incumbent and attacking me online, well, they're likely not going to have me come and speak to their members and say, here's what I'm offering, here's what I'm presenting, here's what I'd like to share, right? So I just think that there's something to be said for why people aren't participating, why you have a 12% voter participation rate, and the structure of what we're trying to offer as an election, a democratic election. I guess there's a lot of other things I noticed too, and maybe I can save that for some other videos going ahead, because I'm going to do a channel called the Riel Report, and this is going to be on Facebook. If you go to facebook.com/the Riel Report, I'm going to do more of this where I can share videos. I often write a lot, so some of you have seen my long novels that I'll write, but that doesn't always work for everyone, I understand. So that's why I think doing maybe some more videos and having more discussions and being able to get feedback. And I hope that you will go and you will follow that page, and I will send out some invites for it as well to people. And I just want to really make it a place that is a place of discourse, but a place of analysis, a place of presenting more information, and not necessarily even about my own viewpoint or advancing my views on it, because I really do believe in that community governance piece, and I believe in our people. And I believe in our people to be able to make decisions and direct the future of our nation in community, much more so than I have faith in my own ability to do something like that. I would sooner rely on the directive of the community than my own opinion, because the directive of the community is a much wider scope of perspective and experience and knowledge. And that can be whittled down. We do a lot of voting as Métis people, even in community, and that's perfect. I think that is how we really nail down the proper way to go and what's right for our people. And that always comes after great discussion and debate, and all the good things that make us the strong and stubborn people that we can be, really work to our advantage in that, in our style of governance. So that's what I have faith in, even over my own opinion. And that's why I want to just keep pumping information out and being able to keep that discourse going, so that I know that what's being decided in our communities is coming from informed places, not just one PR perspective coming down from the MNS, who are, again, being completely 100% funded by the federal government, right? That's a reality. So the Riel Report coming soon. That is what I have been inspired to do from this experience. It's a place that I think I can put a good deal of my attention and focus going ahead. I unfortunately don't have a lot of faith in things being much different at the MNS even after this election. The same sort of issues still exist, I think, and I don't know if there was much turnover to suggest that anything is really going to change much there. So I would prefer to take a different route now than focusing on the internals at the MNS. I've worked on that for the last 5 years and given so much of my free time to it, and it just hasn't worked out, unfortunately, but it led me to this point, and which is a good point. And I do feel very hopeful and reinvigorated because of your support, and it just means the world to me. So thank you so much again. This has been a great experience, and I hope that everybody can also feel a bit of positivity and pride in what was accomplished, that at least there was another voice and another perspective, and we can look to the future of what happened in this election and that 12% turnout, and try to find something that works. If this isn't going to work, let's find something that does. Don't give up. So thanks again. Take care.